Good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. It's cold out. It's cold out. Typical for late December weather down here in Florida. Wow. So far, it tells me we got 12 people here. There you go. 22 people. Okay. Well then, welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch on this New Year's Eve day, December 31st, 2025, last day of the year. Let's get down to it. See, Kelsey's doing his drawing over there, and Robert Kilts himself won. How about that? He usually puts his name in there so he can give a prize to one of the AMT or Instagram or Facebook or whatever else he's on. But for us over here, we're going to drink it if we got it. How are you? How is everybody? Well, YouTube wiped out all my chat from yesterday. I posted this thing early yesterday, and there was some of it, and it's gone. So the first one in this morning was Mike Seeley. Good morning, Mike Seeley from Tampa Bay, and then Senior Mike Stat here in Melbourne. Hi, Michael. How are you? Rick chimed in from Miami. Good morning, Lady June. How are you? The same and usual suspects here. Thomas said hello, and Lucy Work chimed in. Hi, Lucy. How are you? Chris Wayne from Australia. Loretta Nadow. Good morning, darlings. Well, good morning, darling. Have a fabulous day. It's cold, and if it's that cold down here, it's got to be brutal up north. It's 41 degrees. Now wait a minute, maybe it's colder than that. It says it's 36 degrees in Melbourne. 36 degrees. At 8 a.m., it's going to be up to 38. At 9 a.m., 42. And the warmest it's going to get today in the mid-afternoon is 59 degrees. And then it's going to get cold tonight. So for all the people with all the bowl games and all the football games and all the New Year's Eve parties outdoors and the fireworks and all that other stuff, bundle up, sweetheart. It's going to be cold. And that happened to me one year. I threw a big New Year's Eve party at my house, and the weather leading up to New Year's Eve was lows in the low 70s. Gorgeous weather for an outdoor party, and the same thing happened as this year. Same thing. New Year's Eve came, December 31st. We had a cold front go through. It was in the 30s for my New Year's Eve party. I had to, at the last minute, rent these huge gas heaters for out by the pool because all my friends are cigar smokers, and that's what we were looking forward to. So it was a nightmare. Had it catered and everything, and turned out to be a disaster because we people here in Florida do not know how to handle the cold. I'll admit to that. So a lot of people are going to have the same problem today. Barry Simon, good morning, Barry. How are you? Good to see you. He's going to be colder where you are, I imagine. Tammy Petarch is here. Hiya, Tammy. Good to see you. And let's see. Hanging with me a second. Catch up my replay version of this thing, which is playing behind over here, to make sure everything's working right. I guess it is. Okay. Good morning, yo. Mitch Fitz says Tammy, and Rick says let's get quacking. Okay, Leona's here. Good morning, Leona. Happy New Year to you too. Sandy Blythe, we're in Florida. You know it. You know it is. Yeah, good morning all, she says. Finally, we have decent weather here, says Rick. Yeah, down in Miami, they get a little respite from the heat. That's nice. Enjoy it. Enjoy it, Rick, while you got it. Tammy says in Queens, New York, feels like 18. Yes. It's cold. It's cold everywhere. Wayne Herman, good morning from North Carolina. And Captain America, Steve Rogers from Kansas City, good morning to you. Brenda McIntyre, Elgin, Illinois, don't let your meat freeze is what you should say today, Brenda. Don't let your meat freeze. Andy Anderson, everybody's talking about the cold weather in Arkansas. How are you, Andy? Mitch had a problem checking it in. YouTube kept saying subscribers only. No, what it said was, Tammy, that there was a message that said only subscribers can chat live. If it didn't let you chat, then YouTube's got a problem, and I'll have to stop doing that. Let me know if it happens again. That's warm. Yeah, if that happens to you and you can't chat because it says subscribers only, check to make sure you're still subscribed. YouTube unsubscribes so many people. It's criminal. I don't know if it's done on purpose, somehow a way to eat away at our subscriber base, which seems to happen. Happens to me. It's happening to me a lot these days since I'm not producing a ton of new cooking videos lately, which are the ones that usually get me the most subscribers. I guess my subscribers are looking for a cooking channel, and I haven't been doing much of that. I find it harder and harder. There's just so many things we can eat, and there's only so many ways you can cook them and be creative about it. Once you start getting esoteric in your cooking, you're not doing the lifestyle. You're catering to all the people that want variety. I've been harping on that variety for years. Go back to my old videos. You'll see me talking about the fact that quest for variety is the beginning of the downfall for so many people on this lifestyle. It's the reason food has become the prime source or coupled to every form of entertainment that we have. And that was no more obvious than today. I did something this morning that I don't normally do. I watched 5 minutes of the morning news. And of course, the instant that I turned it on, of course, started like a 4-minute commercial break. So I went through all the lawyers, went through all the car dealers, went through all the drug companies. And then when the news finally came back on, it was time for the sports, which I don't give a shit about, honestly. could care less. But it was all about bowl games today. Bowl games here in Central Florida. And what was the one thing that I noticed about all these bowl games? They're all named after their prime sponsor, and they're all pushing garbage junk food. We've got the Cheez-Its Bowl. Hey, I gotta try to do this way. Hold on. Cheez-Its Bowl. Type it into Google. Yes. Yes. Here it is. Official fan guide for the Cheez-Its Bowl. And it's the Citrus Bowl, really, but it's called the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. And all over the TV screen was nothing but pictures of Cheez-Its and this logo and a big trophy they got, which is nothing but a big gumball machine filled with Cheez-Its. That's the trophy, I guess. It's crazy. But that's a message we're getting from athletes. Eat Cheez-Its, drink beer. We also have the Pop-Tarts Bowl. The Pop-Tarts Bowl, because we all know that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Pop-Tarts Bowl. There it is. Pop-Tarts Bowl. There it is. Pop-Tart. Look at this. Prepare for game day. Make sure you got all that junk food and alcohol that you need. And if that's not important, sign up for alerts. You don't want to miss anything about this. This is our society, my friends. This is it. I know I've talked about this before. Does this make it easier or harder for us to maintain this lifestyle of ours with this in our face everywhere we go? If we want to participate in the Cheez-Its Bowl, go as a spectator, we love football, we're going to have to put our armor on. We're going to put blinders on because it's all food and drink all day, all the time, before the game, in the parking lot with everybody tailgating, and during the game and the post-game parties, especially if our team wins, in the bars and the restaurants. And by the time we get done celebrating a day of football, we have put 10,000 calories of pure shit through our body and wonder, why do we get sick? Cheered on by the drug companies sponsoring a great number of the commercials. And nobody seems to notice this. They don't talk about it. It has become normal American life. Tammy says, I saw the Pop-Tarts with added protein. Well, we all know that that's the new big thing, because used to be low fat. Used to be that everything had to be low fat. I mean, that's still a thing, but it's not the new thing, not the new big thing. Like statins are still a thing, but they're not the new big thing. The weight loss drugs are the new big thing. The old big thing has to be replaced every so often. I think that's what's happening to me. maybe the old thing, but and it's understandable. Understandable. Um, but they're replacing low fat now with added protein. And I think even with an American diet, with the amount of hamburgers and regardless of what's adorning them, what kind of sugar-laden sauces or barbecue rubs or anything, the protein is still there. I think people that are not vegans, that do eat meat, and they do eat dairy, are going to get enough protein and probably don't need to add more protein to their diet. They need to add more fat to their diet in place of the mass quantities of sugar that they're eating. That's my opinion. I'm preaching to the choir here. All 68 of you and the rest of the world is going to the football games and eating Pop-Tarts and Cheez-Its today. And what are you going to do about that? Yes, sir. Now, where was I? I left off saying good morning to people. If you got any questions, put them in the chat. Tonight, New Year's Eve. I'm going to attempt to have a New Year's Eve party starting at 9 o'clock. A live stream. I'm going to attempt to hang in there both in energy, my voice, and everything else until midnight, but I won't make any promises. I'm going to have a panel because that's the purpose of it. You don't have a party to have nobody show up and just talk. You have a party to have people come over and people in the panel. And if I don't have people in the panel, if I don't have people willing to come on with me to talk, there's no sense doing it. There's no sense tiring myself out that much. What I'm hoping is we get a good attendance and that people don't come for hours. They come in, spend however much time they want with us, be a part of the conversation, and then move on to their next celebratory activity like people normally do on New Year's Eve, going from party to party to party. So I'll say it now. If I get to the point during tonight's live stream where it's just me talking and the attendance isn't great, and I don't know what to expect. We had a great time last year, but I don't know what to expect. I will let everybody off the hook, including me, say good night, Happy New Year, and end the live stream. And that might be at 9:15. We'll see. We'll see. Nothing personal, but no sense me doing it if you don't want it. If you don't want to come and help out and be a part of it and have fun. I don't do this for me, honestly. So don't be surprised if nobody chimes in, nobody jumps in the panel and leaves me waiting, asking where is everybody. I will say good night, wish everybody a Happy New Year, and we can all go about our business. Fair enough? I hope so. Peter says, tonight I'm going to have a big, thick ribeye or New York strip steak from the roast I recently bought and cut up. Oh, great, Peter. Jerry's talking about her fast, and I hope that's working out real well for you. Question. Carnivore Jerry says, I will be on your panel tonight, Mitch. That's great, Jerry. Great. Glad to hear that. I want to hear all about this fast. It's crazy. Peter says, I'll def be at your New Year's Eve party. Great, Peter. I appreciate that. It's important to me. You know, you ever it reminds me of that New Year's Eve party I told you about earlier where the weather was so terrible and we had this thing catered. It cost a fortune and hardly anybody came because it was so cold or because they had all these other New Year's Eve parties that they had to go to as well. Somebody bought me a coffee. I heard the phone go ding. Wow, Jerry Voitush. Hiya, Jerry. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you for the coffee. And Jane, thank you so much, Jane. I appreciate that. Jane bought me a coffee too. Happy New Year's Eve morning. Mitch, have a great day. And Jerry says, heading to a rooftop wedding in downtown St. Augustine tonight. Oh, no. That's the timing. The timing is all wrong. On a rooftop, it'll be windy. The wind chills will probably be in the 20s. Oh, those poor people. And at least we're doing our New Year's Eve party indoor where we got heaters. My heater is running now. I heat my house to 68 degrees. And that's when it gets below 68 degrees, I freeze. I've also got layers on. I've got this warm shirt outdoor. Outside. I got a t-shirt underneath. And if I do go outside, I will put a jacket on top of it with a hoodie and my knit cap. And Florida, after all these years, does change your relationship with temperature. They say it thins your blood. I don't think it thins your blood. I think that's just an expression. But you do adapt. You do adapt. Minor changes in your body. And we all know it because you can tell the difference in the wintertime between the tourists and the natives. Can I still say that word, natives, or is that politically incorrect to say? The tourists are white as snow, the skin, especially the ones from the Northeast, especially the retired ones from the Northeast. You could tell them a mile away. They're wearing Bermuda shorts. This is the men. Bermuda shorts with black socks and street shoes. My Alexa thing or my Google thing from the other room just talked to me, or else I have a female house guest that I wasn't aware of. That's eerie. They pick up these things sometimes, think they've been triggered, and they start talking to you. And I've got both Google and Amazon Echo here, so. And Peter brought me a coffee. Thank you, Peter. Wishing you a happy, healthy, and prosperous New Year. Professor Mitch, you're the best. Well, I thank you. And that link, if you care to do that, is in the description of the video, or I haven't done this in a long time. in a long time. Of course, I just don't do it. But I will throw the link in the chat, like for old time's sake, if anybody feels like unloading a few bucks for tax purposes only. What an excuse that is. Unload a few bucks before the end of the year. That's a tax dodge. Well, Mr. IRS agent, I don't owe you $17,000 because I bought Mitch a coffee. Here's proof. At any rate, I'll put that up at the top of the chat too, so people can say, Mitch, remember what you said, Peter says. It wasn't my grandfather. My father told me that. My father said, you don't ask, you don't get. Very, very true. That applies to everything in life. Everything. Everything in life, especially men who have no social life, who don't date, who have such a fear of rejection that they never ask. I was one of those kids. I know for a fact. Until I finally screwed up the courage to start talking to women and girls at the younger ages. I was that person by myself. I didn't even have a date to my senior prom. Fortunately, talking to women was a skill I developed not too long after, and it served me well all my life, except for the 2 women that I married. And we won't talk about that this morning. North Dakota Carnivore, Lance. Good morning, Lance. Happy New Year, Mitch, says Lance. Good to see you. And Lady June says, is the added protein bugs? It could be. One of the most common proteins that they add to foods is whey protein, dairy, WHEY. But any protein would, and they're even though it sounds really icky, why wouldn't proteins that the bugs are built of they all contain the same amino acids that the proteins that everything else is built of. So why would that protein not be as good as the protein that you get from anything else, any other living animal type product? Because it's broken down into individual 20, one of the 20 or 21, I've heard it both ways, amino acids are the building blocks pretty much of life. So if you get over the ick factor of it, it probably doesn't matter if it's insect protein. There are many cultures where they eat insects. They don't think twice about it. You've seen pictures of some of these third world countries and these old men, just 110-year-old men sitting there smiling and stuck in between all their rotten teeth are like the insect legs, the legs of roaches and things. They eat these big bugs and they eat these big beetles. You can live on that. Who would want to? Evidently, somebody in the world does. So that's that's a mental picture you'll never get rid of, right there. Once I saw that picture, and first time I saw it, I think it was a long time ago in National Geographic magazine. But yeah, I imagine he had all kinds of protein to food, but doesn't need it. I think a vegan or a strict vegetarian who does not drink dairy definitely would probably benefit by some of these foods with a little protein added. I imagine it might be all right. Might be all right. And Barry Simon asked to get, he says, 10 coffees. Thank you, Barry, so much. Thank you. Have I said thank you? Oh, Barry, Happy New Year to you too. I hope to see you tonight. And Reverend Ebony Jewel Sears bought me a coffee. Good New Year, Mr. Mitch. Thank you, Ebony, so much for that. I appreciate that, everybody. Hopefully we'll have a little bit of that tonight as well. And I don't know what I'm going to be drinking tonight. It's not going to be alcohol. I certainly can't be drinking too much coffee, although I'll probably have a cup or two of decaf. I hope I have a big panel. I've invited, and we'll see if he shows up. I've invited Kilson, Nelson, and Ollie. I sent them the link in an email and asked them if they wouldn't stop by to say hello. Anybody wants me to invite anybody else, if you got their email address, send it to me. And I'll send them an email. But the link is going to be posted at the top of the chat and in the description of the live stream tonight. Anybody who wants to jump in can. But I thought it would be nice to invite the Kilsey family. My channel and his channel are kind of close. So at any rate, Lady June, that's where the protein comes from. Did I miss any other questions here? Let's see. Here's where Peter said he'd definitely be at the party, and Jerry's going to be there with us and tell us all about her fast. That's crazy. Was it 40 days, Jerry? Wow. That's got to be an experience. I don't think I want that experience. Tommy says last year was a good time at Mitch's. Yeah, I think we had a great time last year. We had a great time. Barry says, if you are still on Answer Stranger Things, I'll be there about 10:15. Okay, Barry, I'll look for you. I'm sure we'll probably keep it going. Did have a good time last year. It's not going to be a very evident, smooth produced 3 or more hours. I'm going to be jumping around, looking at things looking at fireworks here and there on, Googling it, looking on YouTube for things to show. So it ought to be fun, but very unpredictable. Jerry answering Bill, I will tell you that fasting for 40 days is definitely not for the faint of heart. And this is my 15th year. Wow. So I always caution people. Yeah. Not something that everybody's going to do. I'm not going to do it. The most I've ever fasted has been like a day and a half. And I'm sure we're all different, and what might be great for one person may be a little rough on another. Dave says, made my leftover ribs on my rib roast whole according to your instructions. Came out great. Yeah, thank you. And Barry Simon, any chance you can bring out some drone videos tonight? Yes, I can. Yes, I can always do that if people want to see them, including some my model jet videos where I used to compete. I got them. So yeah, if you guys want to talk about that, we got a lot of time, and we certainly in those kind of live streams get very diverse in the range of subjects we talk about. Brian Dish says, is the ribeye going to be done at 12 a.m.? Like the ball dropping. It depends on you. I don't know how I can be cooking a ribeye and doing a live stream at the same time. Oh, wow. Rick says, I have no working heater. Well, if you have no heater, Rick, Miami is the place for you. You know that, but it still does get chilly. There's many places in Europe even where they don't heat at night. They never heat at night. I learned that when I went when I was stationed over there, traveled to Belgium to pick up my car at the port. Stayed in a hotel. This was in wintertime, and it was cold. And there is no heat in the room. But there was a bed full of the biggest, fluffiest pillows and comforters you've ever seen in your life. And it was warmer than a sleeping bag. So you were nice and toasty and warm, even though it got down to probably in the 40s in the room. But when that urge came over you to go to the bathroom, you didn't want to get out of bed because it was freezing. So most of those European people got the equivalent of their cold plunge, which we all say is so good for us, by necessity in the middle of the night when they had to get up and go pee, I guess. And Peter said, I just sent you something. Check my phone. Was that the coffee that you sent me, Peter? Or did you also send me an email? I don't think I got an email, but maybe I did. Let me take a look at my my Gmail account. See if no, just the coffees. But that's good. That's good. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. And I will drink mine because it's warm. Well, we're doing okay. We've got 87 people here. Wow, that's encouraging. And I hope you all manage to stop by tonight. I don't imagine anybody's going to spend all 3 hours. Maybe some of you will. I know that I will, but it'll be nice. It'd be nice to have a full panel of people where I can hit you with my Be Right Back screen. Although I think on my Be Right Back screen for tonight, I have to give you Spanky. In fact, just be ready for tonight. Let me go ahead and let's see. Where should I put Spanky? Should I put him over by the coffee? Like that? Maybe make him a little bigger. Yeah. I might use this screen a little bit later so I can take a break. Because I guarantee I'm going to have to. I'll be drinking water and coffee all night, and I'll have to say, excuse me, I'll be right back. So there it is, all set up for tonight. Get a visit from Spanky, and we may get a visit from our other Spanky, golf addict, who we love up in Canada. So hopefully all the Spankies will be in the house. Guys are chatting away. Anthony says, here. Good to see you, Anthony. Hope to see you tonight. Well, the conversation goes on, regardless of what I say. Sandy says, oh, Mitch has a female ghost in the house. You know, sometimes I wonder. They'll, something that I'm saying even in the other room will trigger more likely something that is on the TV. Jerry says, will you do the lion diet with us in January? Come on, be good sport. No. No, Jerry, I'm kind of grown out of doing challenges of any kind. I got nothing to prove. Not to anybody, and especially not to myself. I do experiment, but I have nothing to prove. There's no pride in it. No bragging rights for me, which is what a challenge usually does. I think challenges are good for people that are having a problem maintaining carnivore. My daughter has been struggling for years, and who knows that carnivore is the way for her. And her son, and her husband, who's a diabetic, has tried and failed to start carnivore at least 10 or 20, maybe more times. She'll start it again. She'll start sending me pictures of her steaks and her meat and her eggs and bacon, and I'd be proud of her, and the addictions kick in, and there we go again. And 4 or 5 or 6 months later, if there's something else happens, some medical problem or more weight, she gets fed up again. And she informed me in a text yesterday that their entire family has made their own challenge, 30 days of carnivore. Do I have high hopes? Well, she doesn't think her husband will last a week, but she's pretty well convinced she can do it, and her son, my grandson, who's in pretty good shape, who's kind of a health nut anyway, works out, thin, muscular, and not really a carb addict. He's not, so it shouldn't be too hard for him to do. Hopefully it'll help him out. But just eating beef, I don't know if that'd do me any good. I really believe a small amount of fish, high in EPA and DHA, the omega-3 fats, do me some good, and I wouldn't want to cut them out. Other than that, I am pretty much already on the lion diet. So in order for me to change my diet from what I don't eat dairy now, I don't eat cheese, I don't eat any carbs, but I do eat a broader spectrum of protein. I'll eat pork, I eat ribs, I eat chicken, but I only eat chicken thighs with the skin to get the fat, and bacon. I eat bacon and eggs. I eat a lot of eggs. I eat eggs every day now. And I think eggs are if you got to pick one staple for this diet, I think you're better off with eggs than you are with ribeyes. Most of us can't afford to eat nothing but ribeye, like Sean Baker seems to do. Can't afford $50 to $100 a day just for ribeyes. Many people spend that much every day going out to eat for themselves. You eat out 3 meals a day in a restaurant, you're going to spend $100 these days. You can't even eat McDonald's hardly for less than $20. So, no, probably not going to be on a lion diet. But when you think about it, I'm not a lion. I'm not a lion. I might metaphorically say, I'm a lion, hear me roar. But do I have the physiology of a lion? No. No. Do I have the speed and power to outrun a gazelle, leap on it, rip it apart with my fingernails and teeth, and eat it raw? No. I have the power to push a shopping cart through Sam's Club, buy a ribeye, put it in a vacuum sealed bag and sous vide it for 2 hours at home. Take it out, salt it, sear it in a carbon steel pan in either butter or bacon fat. Sit down at a table with a knife and fork or a knife and a cutting board. Cut it up into little bite-sized pieces and savor the flavor. That's not what a lion does. So I understand the lion diet, but I don't think I think the lion diet is probably too limited and too severe for human beings. We are physiological different than the big cats. The closest thing to the physiology of the big cats these days is Milton. Milton could do real well on the lion diet. Milton is Rick's cat, if you don't know. But as far as humans go, I think we've evolved beyond the lion diet and have the ability and almost the need for a little broader variety. Now, the lion diet, I think, my opinion, all this is just my opinion. Remember, I could be dead wrong. I'm not so arrogant as to think that I have all the answers. I have my answers, and I'm sticking to them. And even I change my mind occasionally when new evidence comes up. But no, I think if you have, in very rare cases, like Michaela Peterson, or people with god-awful gastric disorders like inflammatory bowel disease, IBD, of Crohn's or ulcerative colitis. That's a reaction or analogy to something that's not found in a lion diet, and some of those people have to really limit themselves. But that's not very common. So I don't want to poo-poo on your challenge, Jerry, but the answer to that question for me is no, but don't let me stop anybody for 30 days, especially people who are trying to adapt to carnivore, because I think that's a great way to do it. Get rid of all variety. I'm way past that, and most carnivores that have been on it as long as I have really just gotten way past the need to cut out all that stuff. I struggle with addiction once in a blue moon, but not very often. And I hopefully after my little medical adventure last year and the way they fouled me up, I can't imagine that I will fall off that wagon again anytime soon, unless something happens to me and I find myself at the mercy of and in the control of idiots in the medical and healthcare system who have no idea what's healthy and what isn't. In fact, have it 180 degrees backwards about 100% of the time. Rick says, feed the bugs to the ducks. Well, you can feed, our food eats bugs. Chickens love bugs, worms, and grubs. Those little lizards. That's why when I see one of those little, everybody calls them geckos, but they're not geckos. I don't know what the actual species of them are, but the lizards we have in Florida are great to have around. They eat the bugs, they eat the mosquitoes. I got a few of them that live in my screen porch and scamper across the floor every once in a while. I root for them. Go get them. Eat those bugs. It won't bite me, and they won't bite me. Peter says ducks love to eat bugs, especially huge palmetto bugs. Oh man, those palmetto bugs, Peter, will have the average woman standing on a chair in our kitchen screaming. They're like this big, and when you step on them, they go pop, and all kinds of white stuff oozes out, and the smell is horrible. But they are huge roaches. They take roach to a whole different level, these palmetto bugs. Now, we have them up here in this area, but nowhere near like you guys down in South Florida have them. So enjoy your palmetto bugs. And Jerry says, Mitch is thirsty today. Yes, this is my first cup of coffee. I did something today that I don't normally do. And it may not be a bad idea. Normally, when I do these morning live streams, I set my alarm for about 5 o'clock. Gives me leisurely time to get up. Maybe I'll take a shower if I think I need one. Put on the pot of coffee. Get this, but this, all set up with the lights and the sound and the mixer and all the different windows and programs that I use. Get that all set up and ready to go, and be done with all of that by about 6 o'clock. Then I would go outside on my TV and maybe turn on Kiltsy and relax until about 6:45. Then I would come back in the house, get my cup of coffee, get ready, sit down here, and have 5 or 10 minutes to gather my thoughts and get everything ready and launch the stream. And away we went at 7. Well, today I said, well, Mitch, you better sleep in tomorrow morning. You're going to be up till midnight. I may even take a nice nap this afternoon. If I got up at 6, I set my alarm for 6. And damn, if I didn't, most times I awaken before the alarm goes off. I'm wide awake. Today, I got jolted awake by the alarm at 6 o'clock. I had plenty of time to get ready. What I didn't have time for this morning was the outside part. But it's so friggin' cold outside that it worked out just fine. So I haven't been outside yet. It worked out fine. And maybe I'll do that more often. Maybe I should sleep later. Maybe I should sleep later. I don't know. Experiment around. Who knows? This is almost gone. And it's almost 8 o'clock. Wow. What a coincidence. I also did something a little different today. I've been drinking caffeinated coffee. And this is a big controversy, and I'm always experimenting. And I started, today I decided that I'm going to hold off till later in the day or later in the morning for any caffeine. That 7:30 in the morning is too soon for me to be drinking stimulants. And since I got up at 6 o'clock today, I didn't want to be drinking caffeine so soon after I woke up. I truly believe that when we first get up in the morning, a lot of things happen to our body to get us ready for the physiological tasks of the day. We all know that cortisol levels rise. We know that there's something called the dawn effect, where we get a spike, albeit not a really big one, but a spike in our blood sugar. It's like what happens when you get in your car and you first start it. All kinds of systems have to start happening. It has to warm up a little bit. You got to set the seat position and tune your radio. Get ready before you actually start driving. Got to let your transmission fluid warm up a little bit. And we do the same thing. And overstimulating this in the morning, it's been said, again, by experts, and we all know how much faith I put in that, but it makes sense to me that it's best to wait an hour and a half or more before you start adding more stimulants or diuretics into your system. And that's what caffeinated coffee is. It's a stimulant. You also take amphetamines. You know, you can get hyped up on caffeine. You can drink too much coffee and end up shaking like a junkie. So I said, oh, I'm going to have a cup of decaf this morning. So I've been up since 6. Haven't had any caffeine yet. Been at it here on this stream for an hour. And I feel wide awake. I don't feel like I can tell that I haven't had caffeine, which leads me to wonder, do I really need caffeine at all? I like drinking coffee. Would I be better off drinking decaf? And I've gone through this argument with myself time and time again, and waffled back and forth. Because as soon as I experiment a little and find something, I say to myself, well, I think I feel better this way or that way with the caffeine, without the caffeine. I watched some expert, use the quote signs liberally there, make a video and tell me why I shouldn't drink decaffeinated coffee, and that I'd be much better off drinking caffeinated coffee because, and then they talk about all the horrors of the different decaffeinating methods that they use. And I will say, well, I could be true. And then the next time I grab a cup of decaf, I can't get it out of my head. I'm poisoning myself. I got to switch to caffeinated coffee. Yes, 111 says coffee with butter and heavy cream seems to make it more stable. Yeah, if you really want to add all that fat to your coffee, I don't particularly think I need to add any more fat to my diet. I'm convinced I get plenty. Bill Cook says coffee depletes B1 if you have too much, which means add pork chops. Uh, there's always trade-offs. There's trade-offs in everything. And for every video from every expert who tells you why drinking coffee will add 10 years to your life, 10 healthy years to your life for these 15 reasons, 13 reasons, 17 reasons, there's another expert who's going to tell you why drinking coffee is going to take 10 years off of your life for these 15 reasons. That's why I've developed the philosophy that I don't consider anybody an expert anymore on anything that has to do with human physiology, including myself, and always try to go back to everything I know about how it works and apply what I hear that's new from all of these experts and try to decide if that conflicts with what I'm pretty well sure of or agrees with it and maybe enhances it and come up with my own opinion, which I readily say is my opinion and I could be wrong. And I experiment on myself and I know how it makes me feel. That's been a little tougher this year because of the stroke. And if I feel a little off or tired or lightheaded, and it wasn't something that I felt before the stroke, I have to factor that in and say, well, I'm doing this experiment. I feel a certain way, but am I sure that the way I'm feeling isn't because of damage from my stroke? And has absolutely nothing to do with whether I drink caffeinated or decaffeinated coffee. And this is an argument that I have with myself every minute of every day, just trying to do the right thing. And again, I keep getting back to the fact that the right thing for me seems to be limiting variety, eating no carbs. I can drink the coffee. I'm going to smoke the cigars. If the cigars kill me, something's got to kill you. I think it would be more good than harm, but that's my opinion. Every other cigar smoker will agree with me because that's what they want to believe, which is the strongest motivating factor of what drives your beliefs more than anything else. Truth, fact, experts' opinions have very little to do with what you believe. You believe what you want to believe. And so many of those beliefs are driven by our addictions to all these different things. And every sugar addict wants to believe that it's not unhealthy to live on a diet of pure sugar. And there's got to be some other reason why they become flaming diabetics and are having their feet amputated. They'll stop blaming it on their diet to the very end because they're addicts. Alcoholics the same way. As they're getting a liver transplant, they will not want to believe that their drinking had anything to do with the destruction of their liver. That's the power of addiction. So you gotta say to yourself when you hear all these experts, is this just what they want to believe? Is Paul Saladino such a sugar, fruit, and honey addict that he changed his whole channel and way of life and recommendations to justify his own eating of the stuff he's addicted to after years of telling everybody how bad it was. It's my theory. Again, my opinion. So, my friends, Bill Cook says when Ken Berry says something, I kind of want to believe it. You do. Of course you do. I think Ken Berry's a good man. He's careful to keep his message broad enough to encompass virtually the entire low-carb philosophy. Even though he says he's a carnivore, he's very careful to try to include everybody in his message, because if you're a YouTuber and you want going to be a big YouTuber, you want a lot of views, you want very little conflict, you don't say things that are controversial. And it works for him. And he's got a big following. There's only a few people in this space that have that big a following. And I think Ken is the least commercial of them. And I think he's a good man. I think it's the things he doesn't say is where the nuance lies. That he avoids, the subjects he avoids. Me, I don't give a shit. If you like it, fine. If you don't like it, don't watch. You never heard those words out of other YouTubers' mouths. I try to be, the real McCoy. What's on my mind comes out of my mouth. If it offends people, sorry. If my views on anything don't agree with yours, I'm not going to debate you. I'm not going to try to change your mind. I don't care what you believe. Just leave me out of it. If I think you're a wacko, or you believe in things that can't possibly by any stretch of logic, any imagination really be true. And that goes true for everything. I'm getting to the point now where I almost have to avoid the entire human race. And that seems to be what I'm doing. So that's okay. That's okay. But I think with some of these huge YouTube influencers, unless they've got such a following that they're kind of immovable now, guys like Joe Rogan. Joe can say anything he wants and could give a shit less, believe me, if anybody agrees with him. And he's got so many followers and such a big channel that he's at a point where he can do that. He's a star, a real star in this space. But very few people are, especially people talking about diet and health, because that's a very controversial thing. All right. I don't want to go too long today. I want to save it a little for tonight. I hope you come and visit with us after 9 o'clock tonight. I will be here. Some of you have already said you will be here, and I'll look forward to it. We can have up to 10 people at a time. That'll get a little busy, but that also includes people in the green room, and I would like to leave. I don't want to have 10 people sitting in the green room all the time, and if for some reason it does get busy, I may want to rotate some people in and out, and I'll ask for or decide to say goodnight to somebody if they're just sitting there and smiling. Because, if you ever go to all these Zoom calls that they have on other channels, most of the people never utter a word. So they would probably be the first I have to use to make room for somebody who is trying to get in. And I hope to rotate a lot of people because nobody wants to sit there for 3 hours except me. So good to see you this morning. Thanks for watching. Say goodbye to your friends in the chat. Have a great day. Stay warm. Lizzie said, Donna Ray says, I had a very good year. Looking forward to another great year. I had a very shitty year, a very lousy year, a very sick year, a very recovering year. And I'm not looking forward to having another one of those. But it was what it was, and I got through it. All right. So that's about it. You've said goodbye. I will see you tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. BYOB or BYO ribeye. Whatever you want to bring it along. Coffee, electrolyte mix. Drink it if you got it. Ray, see you tonight as well. And until then, until 9 o'clock, take the rest of the day off and eat meat.